All right. Good morning, traders. Welcome to the Bookmap live trading webinar. This is Bruce at Bookmap, and we're going to go through live market analysis in here. We do it every Monday, Tuesday, and Friday at 10 a.m. Then we have live trading with JTrader for stocks on Wednesday at 10 a.m. and Thursday, Scott Pulcini for futures in live trading. This is all part of the educational course that we have. It's online. It's all free. This is the follow through. We have the course that goes through the concepts here of order flow and learning order flow, and then this is putting it to the test in the live markets. We have a really diverse group of professional traders trading here on our Discord channel. It continues all day long. So we have for example, hold on, we have the Algo Boys at 2:30 to 4, but let's get to the advanced webinar here. Here we go. Right after this webinar, we have Tom B at 11:30 East Coast time, so in an hour and a half. And then we have, right after that, we have Doug Pless. He'll be going through options. And then right after that, we have the Algo Boys. So it's quite a nice lineup of streamers all day long within Bookmap. And this is all free if you want to come to our Discord channel. All right, so I got to go through the disclosures and then let's jump right in to the live market. Let's see here. General disclosure: all Bookmap Ltd materials, information, and presentations are for educational purposes only and should not be considered specific investment advice nor recommendations. The risk disclosure: trading futures, equities, and digital currencies involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. All right, so let's jump in here. We've got a big week ahead, so a lot of data coming out. All right, so this is going to be an interesting week. Always, the first of the month, the first few weeks of the month is mostly when the most important data releases come out. So there's going to be some volatility here, and let's cover it. Well, we have FOMC, we have non-farm. These are the two biggest. They're going to be in the same week. So Wednesday's FOMC, non-farm is on Friday. So we're going to get a lot of volatility. And let's take a look at technically what's going on within in the chart here, so that we can kind of get an understanding of what's going on. We have the daily here, candlestick chart on the left, the hourly in the middle here, and on the right hand side we have the 15-minute. All right, so now we can see that this has been for the entire month here of January. We see this nice bullish move to the upside here. Really big area of consolidation down here, and this was end of the year, all of December basically, and then now December 12th. Let's see, this is about December 16th to around the first of the year is this cluster and consolidation period here. Here's our breakout on the 6th or 7th on January, the retest back up here, and then the move back up. All right, so on the daily chart, we're still bullish until we see something different, right? That's we're in an uptrend here at least in this time frame in here. Bigger picture is another story. Like here's the swing high. This is kind of an equal high here, at least here. And then right now, it's a it's definitely a lower high. And we'll see, though, if there's momentum to come back up here and retest it. That's what we see on the daily chart. Now, like we said, there's a lot of data coming out this week, so this is gonna radically change, I would imagine. So here we have the hourly. We can see this very, very strong bullish move the other day here on the 19th or so, 20th, somewhere around in there. And then we can see that this is last week. Here's the gap down. We filled the gap and then moved on up, continue to move on up. Really strong moves in here. And then here we have Friday where it closed at the end of the day, and then it gapped down, opened up down here, right bouncing off of this 40-50 level, as you guys can see. And we're coming back up right now, looking like very poised to fill the gap up here where it dropped from on Friday. So that would be around 40.83 or so, all right, in the S&P. And that's what we're looking at right now is the S&P. All right, it's 15-minute chart, same thing. Here's the gap around that 83 level. And looks like market still, we see a little red candle right here at the moment here, but yeah, it looks like it wants to fill it, all right, as it is right now from these candlestick charts. Let's look at Bookmap though, and let's see what other additional insights we can get. Okay, it looks pretty good here for these sellers to try to take it down now. And where might they go? Well, we look for pullbacks to some of these swings and low volume nodes. It's already doing it. So right around maybe the 68 or 70 level. And already getting a bounce out of that as well. Okay, so let's just make these volume dots a little bit smaller. All right. So anyway, yep, that's we went over the higher time frame, and now let's go over the current market and what we see here. Okay, so get really into the details now, and we'll block up or mark up and block out the structure first. So we're still kind of in more of a medium term time frame, and we'll get into the lower time frames here and look for the order flow. All right, because here we go. So here's the consolidation period. Here is the breakout, and let's just see, that's right around that 930. That makes sense. We get the breakout here, we get the pullback to the top of that range, and the continuation right into high liquidity. Right, so and that high liquidity here has transacted. You can see this move into this liquidity in here. Some of it pulls, some of it trades. It looks like majority of it traded up here at 65, and then we get this nice beautiful pullback, and then the bulls come back in, and we can look at, again, market structure here. It's so important to understand market structure and then the order flow within it. So if we mark that up, you can see here's another consolidation, right? And here's the breakout here. Here's another consolidation, and then here's the breakout here. Now look, this is a deep pullback here, very deep, but we're still bullish here. It has not broken this swing here, so it's still trending up. Okay, so what we can do is start to look at some other market structure in here as well. We can look at some trend lines, and just start to get a feel for these swings in here, and where price might go based off of some of these swings in here. Okay, look at some price channels. Again, it's about the order flow within these areas here that we really want to comprehend. That's what's going to give us the insight. Okay, so as it is right now, sellers coming down, they're going to look like they're going right into this 65, 66 area here. And then now it's getting interesting. All right, so we have some technical levels right here, for example. Okay, and we have this horizontal line, and we have this diagonal line, and we have some liquidity here. Okay, so there's buyers lining up here. All right, so let's take a look at the order flow here. Now let's look at more smaller time frame structure and understand where price might go. Right, so let's make some more kind of diagonals in a counter trend here. Okay, so great. All right, so here we go. Let's see if we can get some buyers here. Okay, and let's see if these guys pull their liquidity here, and to try to get a move back up to 70, 71. Okay, now this is smaller time frame stuff, but we're going through the same kinds of education here. There they go. See how they pulled, and we're getting buyers. All right, so Let's see if they can reach back up to, well, this, I don't see much liquidity in here. I'd still say maybe the swing around 71. And maybe that's it on this move. Okay, so this was the scenario though we were just talking about, and they pulled the liquidity here. The buyers came in and then moved higher on up. Okay, now just looking for that move here, and that's it for now, right? Up to the basically up to this little swing right here, and it just did it. Okay, so but just understanding this move here in the context of the market structure. Now, this move here, yes, that would be tradable if you're ready and poised, looking for that at that very moment. And different ways of getting involved into that trade. It's very small time frame, but what I want to cover here is this move in here is no different than when you look at and zoom out and look at the higher time frames. And that's what's really important, is to then look at the same types of order flow activity but on different time frames, and that will give you a higher probability outcome if you can start to align these fractal moves. Okay, and the market is fractal, meaning very simply that these smaller time frame moves are very similar to the higher time frame moves. It's just more trading data over more time. How do you know what is traded and what is pulled? Richard, this is a great question, and that's one of the beautiful things in Bookmap here. All right, so let's just demo this here, and I'll try to go through it quickly because this is a you must be rather new to Bookmap and understand what it is displaying. All right, so here's the limit order book over here. COB stands for the current order book. At this 69.25, there's 150 limit sell orders here. All right, and down here you can see there's 170 and 200. Right, it relates to this color in the heat map, meaning it's high liquidity. Right, this heat map color is up here. Here, let's just make it really bright for now. Red and orange, very high liquidity, then yellow, then white, blue, and then black. Now I'm just going to make it transparent here, so it's just we can still read it here, but just not have it blaring at us here. All right, so this liquidity in here, did it trade? Did it pull? Well, see how we went from here 150 to now it's 90, right? 90 contracts. So here you can see how the heat map shows you that liquidity is pulled by the graphical representation in the heat map. Okay, so they pulled it away from the market. They do not want to be sellers here with their limit sell orders any longer, right? And it's in the face of these buyers, you know, coming right up toward them. Now let's analyze this buying pressure that's coming in here. How big is it? Well, look at the size of the dots. Now it's a graphical representation. You can get these very specific information if you use the data tip tool and hover over these areas. This is for volume of 22. This is 25. This is 21. Okay, what about this big red dot down here? Well, that's 302. What about this one here? That's 192, this green dot. So this move here, like, how much do you believe in it? It's doing it, and we were looking for the bounce here, but it doesn't seem like there's a lot of traders behind it compared to these other areas in here and some of these moves. So there's our representation. It's doing what we were looking for, and this is how to read the context of it. Here come the buyers. They're pulling here. Well, it can maybe come up a little bit higher, maybe up into here or here, right? And that's what we'd kind of be looking for. And then if we don't get enough buyers anymore up at these areas, we're going to look for it to come back down. And look what happened here. So these guys pulled on the bid, and these guys added on the offer, and we get sellers. Okay, so the sellers came back down and traded. Now this is important to stick with me here. look at this area of consolidation on a smaller time frame and look at the breakout. Look where we've pulled back to, where it broke out from. Do we find more people on the bid here, or do we find more sellers or buyers in here, aggressive sellers or buyers in here? And right now, I don't see much of anything really. I don't see them on the bid though. They're down here on the bid, 66 or 66 and a half, right? Okay, so based off of that, likely I would look forward maybe to continue on down a little bit lower here. Okay, yeah, maybe test back down into 66 liquidity down here. Okay, did we get it? Not really, not yet. It's just going back and forth in here. Okay, now look here. Now we see like on the bid, they're starting to bid up. Okay, in here and also here. Okay, so these are buyers. This is demand. Limit buy orders, showing some interest in here. Now the question is, what does price think? What do the aggressors think of that? What is this? You know, do sellers want to trade into this area here and make the deal happen, or are they just like, ooh, I see there's a lot of demand coming in the market, I don't want to sell anymore? And maybe we find aggressive buyers up here and they'll trade up to 70. Okay, so that we got to go through a couple different scenarios in here. So do we find those do we find buyers up in this area here and a lot more? Then we're going to likely come up and test this liquidity. If we don't, and this demand in here, we actually it attracts sellers, like here at maybe 67 and a quarter or 67 here, then I think we're going to trade back down into these areas here, just because we're understanding the relationship of supply and demand. Okay, so that's it. So those are the two scenarios. Now the scenario that's playing out right now is we're finding sellers. Okay, all right, so now right here at 67 we want to find a little bit more sellers and then we can drop. Okay, and we don't find them. Now these guys are back in here, so it's back and forth in here, right? So we're not getting a really good read right now on this supply and demand. We're reading the auction, the intent of traders within this auction, and this information here is telling us, well, we're not really too sure, right? We don't really have too much insight right now. Okay, now we found these buyers and they lifted it and went above this area here. Okay, are we going to get a breakout? See how this now has turned into an area of consolidation, but we see a breakout. Okay, on volume, on high volume. Now, is this a stop run? It is. We have a stops and icebergs here. Okay, so do we get like do we see a lot of sellers come right back in? Yeah, we do actually, right back into it. Okay, so now the question is here, this is kind of like it's a false breakout, and we know it's a stop run too. All right, so go through a couple scenarios. Either we might get sellers, I would be looking right here where these buyers broke out from. If we get sellers here, like big red dots, I'm looking for them to test into these lower levels here. Okay, and pretty quickly test into it. We may come back up here at 69 and we may find more buyers. If we do, then I'm looking for 70. All right, so it's based off of the scenarios in here. So let's see what unfolds here. Okay, well, we didn't get those sellers. We're getting buyers here. Interesting. All right, so buyers up here. Do we still get buyers up here? Not really. All right, so it didn't give us the full picture here. Yeah, kind of stay away from it. Here's some buyers up here, a lack of buyers. Let's see if we get sellers here at 69, and then we can get a move back down to this kind of high volume node within this range here. Okay, we found buyers instead. Okay, now we're getting the sellers. Okay, and now do we get sellers down here at 67 3/4? Yep. Okay, let's see now if we can get these sellers to move it back down into 66 and 65. There we go. There we go. All right. Now I didn't know about this. Is obviously in this is not hindsight because I didn't know what happened here in the future. It is in the past though. So we'll do it in the live market as well. So we're all about caught up to live market. Well, actually, it turned into a really nice sell move. As you guys can see, we were just talking about it here, right? Anyway, that's the process, Richard. And then to understand these areas here, did these guys pull or trade? They traded. This is what it looks like when they trade. So let's just zoom in here. See how they traded right into that high liquidity. Here's our high liquidity, and here are limit or market sell orders hitting that bid right into it. Okay, so that transaction happened. These guys on the bid in here got what they wanted, and they transacted 182. They're long. The aggressor is what's showing though here in the red dot, as well as in this volume profile chart here, or column. All right, let's see here. I hope that was it was a bit of a review there, but just to understand what Bookmap is showing and how to start to read the context of the auction in here. Okay, thank you, Richard. And let's see here, Alejandro. An iceberg can be a stop order or profit taking. No, an iceberg it can be profit taking for sure, but an iceberg is an iceberg transaction or order it's very similar to, or it behaves like a limit buy order or limit sell order. The only difference is that it's hidden from the order book. You do not see it. Okay, so it's a resting order. All right, so it cannot be a stop run. A stop run is something very, very different. Okay, those are similar to market orders. It's just that it's a stop when it is touched, it will turn into a market order. Okay, and that's how you can get slipped as well, because it's a market order. Anyway, let's go back to current price action here. All right, so all we've done now is come back down and tested this swing, these two swings down here, and we see a bit of a bounce. Okay, and we also have that trend line that we marked up in here. So it's getting kind of messy in here, so let's clear all these. And this one's still holding though, so we can still keep this one here. All right, so anyway, all right, did you guys see the webinar last Friday? Let me show you it here. It was really great, it's here. Let me show you where it is. Okay, so if you go to our YouTube channel and you scroll down here, it's right here from Friday. So how to trade with correlated markets. I've introduced the tools before, but I showed how to use these new tools we have, TraderMap Pro, and also our Market Pulse tool. Anyway, this is you might want to go back and review this one and see like somewhere around halfway into the webinar where we basically caught the bottom of this move here. Let me show you where I think it was this move here. Yeah, it was this move here. So on the 15-minute chart, there was this move up to this swing high, this move back down, and then we were watching the order flow in here very carefully, and we caught the move to the downside, or look for that move to the downside, and then we weren't quite too sure, and then we saw all of a sudden these correlated markets all popped at the same time, and we got a beautiful move. And we're looking for the move just up to like 80 at that point, just up into here, because that's where the liquidity was. But you can see this move worked out all day long. all the way up to the high. So it was really interesting to see that in the market correlations captured by that market pulse tool. So let's do that again, and so you guys can we can hear the market and see the price action within the S&P, but look at the correlated, or hear the correlated markets as well. All right, so let's jump over here. And let's see. This is gonna be great because we're at an inflection point here in the price action right now. All right, so let's add the market pulse. We were looking at the Trader Map Pro tool here, and looking. This is a filter here. You need the MBO bundle for this, but it filters the liquidity in the order book to 10 or more. In this case, I made the filter for 10 or more. This one here shows 100 or more. Okay, so only show me orders that are 100 or greater, and they're down here at 50. Okay, or they're up here at 75. Right. So anyway, interesting chart to be able to really look for those longer term, bigger players, and where they're providing liquidity. All right, so this one's looking at 10 or greater. So they're down here, 52 or 55 here, basically. Okay, so this is getting interesting. Look at the sellers coming in. All right, and let's get our market post tool, because I'm looking for the sellers to hit the bid hard into 50 and 52 and a half. Okay, so looking good. Looking for these sellers to hit the bid here. Now we have to go through the other scenario in here, and that would be the trap. This is the trap here, and then buyers back up above 60, and this is where that market pulse tool is going to be really helpful. So let's add that in here. All right, yeah, here we go. We got it all set up still. Great. So let's add that, add that, add that, and add that. All right, so we're looking at volume pressure in here. Okay, that's what the market pulse is looking at, and that means that there's a look back period. Let me describe it here. So and let me show you more information about it as well. But we're looking at basically within here. Let me just open up a small one here for the ES. Okay, right click on it and go to settings. It opens up the settings here, and the widget is here. This is sellers, this is buyers, and this white line here is the threshold. It's at 70% here. Okay, if I make it down to 50 and hit apply, you'll see, or 37, you can see now it's down here at 37. Right, so I want to bring it back to 70 and hit apply. All right, because I want to see really a lot of sellers or a lot of buyers come in here. All right, and then I want to get some insight. Now we have a half-life period and training period. Let me go over these two settings in here so you understand what you're looking at. The half-life period, or no, the training period means it's a window of 5 minutes of data. A sliding window, always a current 5 minutes of data, always. And then based off of that, there's a half-life period. So you might get a spike in volume, and then there's more volume, but it always retraces back towards zero with a half-life of 10 seconds here. So what that means is, like, you know, you'll get this kind of spike, and then, like, if there's not another spike, well, you'll see the buyers or sellers here, it'll kind of dwindle back toward zero, right? So that's a way to kind of look for and control the spikes, is by doing this retracement half-life period. Okay, kind of like a moving average, but in reverse, exponential moving average, but in reverse. Anyway, so let's see if we get any signals here, or some insight here. So we're looking for something around this area here, and we don't see any spikes right now. You know, we're looking to see when buyers and sellers might come in, and we're not getting much. Now the correlated markets that I have listed here are up in this in the market pulse tool. I have the ES, I have the NQ. Okay, so looking at a correlation there, I have the Russell, and then I also have the 6E. Okay, so looking for if there's going to be dollar strength or dollar weakness in here, and if they're buying the 6E, if a lot of traders are buying the 6E and they're buying the Nasdaq and they're buying the Russell, I'm also thinking they're going to be buying the S&P, and we're looking for the move higher, and we have a higher probability that that move will unfold if all these correlated markets are moving in the same direction as well. Okay, this is a great filter here to be able to use and understand. Okay, so our move, what we were looking for earlier was 55, and then this 52, and maybe 50, the figure down here. That's exactly where we are right now at 55. Still looking for this 52.5, and then maybe 51 down here. Okay, because that's where the liquidity is, and we don't see buyers yet. All right, so let's take a look at and start to understand when buyers might come in, because these are pretty important levels of liquidity. We can even look at that. That's a pretty aggressive trend line, but nonetheless. All right, same ideas. Okay, so now let's see if we have high liquidity down here. Sellers are still moving the market and are in control. Now the question is, and let's get rid of the candles. Sorry guys, I was demoing the candles, but we can go over the candles again as well if you like. I love looking at the candles with Bookmap. All right, so we're looking to see if we get some buyers in up in this area here, and then for them to try to lift it higher, who knows where, like maybe back to 65, maybe this liquidity up here around 73 or 4. And we don't see them yet. We're finding sellers still looking. I'm still looking for them to trade into these levels here. There we go. There's 52.5. Still looking for lower here, and let's get down to maybe 50. Okay, we have no reason to think otherwise right now. Okay, and our correlated markets are all silent right now. So just go with the trend, and it's pretty mellow right now. Okay, we're not seeing a lot. Now we're starting to see, ooh, sorry guys, I forgot to turn the volume on here. Let me show you where the volume, I can unmute it right here for individual markets, but let me show you, there's an overall. If you scroll up here, there's the overall toolbar up here, and if I hit this one right here, mute all widgets, you can see that it will mute them or unmute them. It should unmute them. Oh, I guess it doesn't unmute them. All right, so we got to do it individually, which is fine. There we go. All right, so now we'll hear the market when it crosses these thresholds here. We will hear this market pulse sound off. And that's what we're looking for, is when not just one, but multiple markets. Okay, that'll give us much deeper insight. Let me get back to the questions. I've been kind of ranting here for a bit. So let's see here if you have any questions. Yes, you do. Sorry, guys. Get to that. Okay, good morning, follow. So you're new to Bookmap and you're a CFD trader. You're a scalper, exclusively trade the Dow. Yeah, you can use the Dow with Market Pulse, no problem. Yeah, that's another one we can add in here. Here, let's add it in. Okay, create, go to Market Pulse, add-on, create. Here's the new one up here. Let's select a market from it. I have to open it first, sorry. Yeah, all right, so hold on a minute. First, I need to open it here. Go to Rhythmic. And we're not gonna, we go to the COB for the YM, and then we need to input the YMH3. Okay, there we go. All right, now since I've opened the symbol here in the YM, all right, let's take a look. Let's add the Market Pulse. There it is here. And yeah, that's fine. We'll keep it. Let's go to volume pressure. They're all on volume pressure. Yeah. Okay. Great. And then we need to hit the play button. Okay. And then a new widget pops up here. Okay. There you go. Let's put it here. All right, so we got all the stock indexes correlated or in Market Pulse, and we also have the 6E, so we're looking at the dollar index, basically, right? All right, guys, well, look, I mean, pretty good insights here. We didn't hear, buyers come in. Let's go back to our Trader Map Pro. We didn't hear buyers come in. Therefore, we stick with the trend and continue on. That's that, right? So this Market Pulse tool gave us good information here by not sounding off. Okay, now it's getting really interesting now, though. We're down at these levels in here. Let's take a step back and look at our higher time frame here. Okay, look at this here, right down below these swings here on the 15-minute chart. Okay, we never filled the gap like we were looking for. Okay, it came up to about 77, and then look at the heavy selling coming in. Okay, now we're below these swings here on the 15-minute chart. Okay, that's good. Let's see now if we get more sellers in here, or are we going to get buyers start to come in below this swing. Okay, so let's take a look. Okay, those are the two scenarios we're looking for. I think we're probably going to see some. Well, we'll wait and we'll see, and we'll let Market Pulse and the market order flow here tell us. Okay, so here's exhaustion by the sellers here. That's a good sign right there, and we're starting to see buyers' interest here. Okay, that's a good sign as well. Okay, and we're up at the 50 figure here, half figure, 40-50. Okay, and there's high liquidity there. Okay, now we didn't get enough buyers to trade into it yet, but it looks like we're gonna. And let's see if they take them on. There they go. All right, so now you can hear the NQ as well as the ES sounding off. All right, then the buyers cross the threshold. Okay, now let's be real careful here, though. That's good, but that's only two markets. Okay, so we're looking for like a better correlation here. So here we go back up here. Now let's see if we get even more markets here. The YM is starting to show some interest. Now there's more sellers here, actually. More sellers on all of them. Okay, but this is just too low for yeah, I mean, may continue on lower. It is. Okay, but let's just go through the. I mean, the trend is continuing here, but we're pretty low, and I'm wondering when we're going to get some buyers' interest come back in here. Okay, so I'm looking for that. Now the dollar, no, it looks like the YM is picking up. Okay, and that's leading, then nothing else is following right now. We see buyers come in the Dow. Now sellers come in the Dow. There's some exhaustion. All right, let's see. I'm looking for these buyers here. Let's see if we get it in this S&P. All right. All right, looking for these buyers to try to lift it back up to here at 50. Okay, so how can you take advantage of this here? Well, interesting, looking good. How you can take advantage of this in here is when you come back down to these levels in here, and we're looking for those multiple correlations. So we got the ES, the NQ, and that's it right now, actually. Okay, look at the Russell now as well. Okay, this could turn into a strong move. Okay, so we've come up to the 40-50. That's what we're looking for down here, right? All right, let's see it, buyers. Let's see. We're looking for these correlated markets and just a flurry of buying to try to lift it back up to maybe 54 here, maybe 58. Okay, they're buying the NASDAQ. Traders are buying the ES. That's it, though. So follow, I hope I answered your question in there. And let's see, Prickly's in here today, but retracted his messages. Anyway, you were helpful on Friday, and we're looking for those moves around your level there. See, now look at them buying. Traders are buying the dollar too, or are selling the dollar. They're buying the euro. Okay, this is all good for continuation higher. Okay, we're up to our 54 area. That's our level we were kind of looking for here. And 58 was our next level, but they pulled that liquidity already up here. How do you change the sound in Market Pulse? Yeah, sure. There's all sorts of sounds in here by default. And let me show you where they are. And then let me see, follow. Just wanted to see if confluences index. Yeah, so we're going over the confluences in here. All right, so the sounds in here. So right click in one of the widgets and go to settings. Here's where you can change the sounds down here at the very bottom. Click on this and you'll see these different sounds in here. And you know, see what you like. Now you can see like it says sounds 101p and then 101n. All right, so that's the positive for buyers and the negative for sellers. Okay, the related sounds 101 and then just the positive and negative. All right, so choose what you like. The a Bookmap will or the Market Pulse will basically assign a new sound to a new instrument. Holy cow, Fallow, you just made 30 points on it. That's excellent. Fallow, just wanted to let you know though, like we do not advocate trading. This is not a trading room here at all. This is about reading and understanding order flow and being able to apply it to your trading. It's an order flow room. It's not a trading room, right? Really, our goal in here is to introduce many different trading styles, and then you pick and choose kind of what gravitates or resonates with you, and then you need to test it. You need to do your due diligence before you hit the button to buy or sell. And I'm not trying to give you a big lecture or anything. I'm just trying to define what this room is about, and what our community is about. All right, so this webinar here in general is the foundation for order flow. When I'm finished here in another like half hour or so, then you have access to a variety of other professional traders who are using order flow as well, but they're trading in a very specific way. So for example, you will come back in here and come to the Traders Lab with Tom B, who's a volume profile trader. Okay, after that you have options with Doug. Doug is right here in the voice channel in our Discord. That's also on YouTube. They're both on YouTube as well. I follow them there, or come to the you can see it here in the lineup. Here's Tom and here's Doug. Okay, and the Algo Boys are after that. However, they're not here on YouTube, right? So anyway, what I'm trying to get across here is that we're reading order flow and then understand these concepts and apply it to any mode of trading. The way that Doug trades, the way that Tom trades, the way that the Algo Boys trade. All right, so this is a kind of interesting here. So buying the euro, but nothing else. No one else is following suit here. All right, so that's kind of interesting. All right, so nothing to do until we see those correlated markets start to align here, right? Okay, if we get those buyers in here, they should come right back up to 55. Okay, they are, but I'm just seeing the NASDAQ and the S&P here. Okay, I'm looking for the move up to 55, but I am only seeing two markets here. So, you know, maybe it's a quick scalp. Maybe you reduce your risk extremely quickly on that. Or, and let's go through this because this is important, how to really apply it. Maybe, you know, you would be looking, this is something to have to study though, and you have to manage the risk on it. Is it a high probability trade? We don't quite know yet, actually. It might be. We saw that traders were buying the euro dollar. That's a good start. Okay, in this little area down here, that's a good start. But we didn't see the buying in the indexes yet. The S&P looked pretty good, but the NASDAQ looked pretty good, but the others didn't. But what you can do is get in a position around in these areas in here, look for it to trade back up here and take some off. If it doesn't work out, you could have a very tight stop loss on something like this. Okay, because you're looking for the stock indexes to catch up to that euro dollar in this case. Okay, the foundation was laid here in the euro dollar, which we don't see here in the S&P. Okay, now do they follow suit? Let's see. Right up here, we're looking for all of these markets, S&P, NASDAQ, Russell, and YM to all pick up right here at 52.5, and then boom, up to 55. Okay, and then maybe even higher. All right, that would be the scenario here. Now, if you're in that position, you have a tight stop loss. Okay, because maybe they all turn around and go the other way. But at least you gave this a shot, right? And it was based off the euro dollar buying in here. Now see, they're selling euro dollar. And and yet the S&P is going up. So something's a little off there. Now Russell's picking up. So this is back and forth action. We're not getting exactly what we wanted here. Okay, so does that make a higher probability trade? Well, it still could trade up to 55, and maybe they all correlate up here at 55. Right? But you would have been in here, and we're not too sure, but you had some reasons for getting involved and maybe taking some off at the top of the range here, and that's it. And maybe looking for a runner and holding when it gets up here and you get deeper insight here. So do you understand, like what I'm trying to get at here is there's different ways to look at this and kind of play the market based on these correlations for a higher probability trade to unfold at this point up here, right up at 55. Now you could have taken some off here at 55 and hold the runner. Okay, does that make sense, guys? I think this is really good stuff. I mean, I really like these the combination of this Trader Map Pro that we're using. And look at this. They're all correlated now. This is the scenario we just went through. Okay, so let's see them try to trade up to 60. Let's see if they can make it up to 60. DAX is moving up too, Ben. There you go. You can use the DAX as well with this, Ben. Okay, follow. Yeah, I just wanted to. I didn't mean to like be so pedantic here and didactic on trading. It's just like we do not advocate trading in this room, or like unless you already have your trading plan that is in line with what we see in the analysis here, right? So that's really the key, because like just taking shots from the hip in here, just like, yeah, look at the order flow, boom, I don't think it will serve you well over the long run, and we want to serve you guys really well, and we'll go over many concepts in here that can be used for creating a trading plan, and that's what we really want to do. Richard, you said, Doug, could you explain? No, this is Bruce. More about the 6E. Yeah, sure. Well, so the 6E is we're kind of using it as the dollar index, and it's not. So just note that immediately. That or want to make that point immediately, because the 6E is it's the euro compared to the dollar. And it's especially, it's always a great, it's typically a great correlated market to look at. The dollar index is a little different, and it's probably better to look at. The dollar index, though, you have to subscribe to the ICE exchange, and it's like $200 a month. So up to you if you want to do that or not. It's going to give you a little deeper insight, because it'll be a basket of currencies, okay, and 60% of it though is the euro dollar, right? And then it's the pound, and then it's also the Swissy, and I don't know what else makes it up. I think that's it, something like that. Now the correlation is, now this is really where the yeah, you could also use the Nikkei, Richard, no problem. I don't have it up, but you can absolutely use it. All right, so now the correlation with the euro dollar or dollar, we're looking for basically dollar weakness or dollar strength. And the correlation is very simple. If the stock markets are doing well, then people are I mean, typically they're buying stocks. They're not buying dollars. God, I shouldn't say that. That sounds it. Yeah, let me try to be more precise. Instead, the dollar is more like safety. When people, when there's volatility in the market and the market's going down, people will get out of stocks and they will be buying dollars. Okay, dollars safer, right? That's why it's the same with bonds. People get out of stocks and into bonds instead. Okay, you can look at the bonds market here as well as a correlation. That's the classic correlation, to be honest. And look at the 10-year versus the ES. So maybe we'll get there and try that maybe tomorrow or I don't know, soon. But right now we're looking at the stock indexes and seeing if they all kind of correlate, looking for a strong and powerful move. All right, so anyway, if the stock markets are going down, people typically go to safety, which would be bonds and the dollar. Okay, put it into the dollar. So that means there's dollar strength when the markets are going down, typically. All right, and that's what we're reading here in the correlation with the euro dollar. So if we see them buying the euro dollar, that means they're not buying the dollar, they're buying the euro, which is more risk on environment. Okay, if they're selling, shorting the euro dollar, it means they're shorting the euro, buying the dollar, looking for dollar strength, and we're looking for a sell-off to correlate with the stock indexes. Okay, does that make sense? Guys, got really quiet over in Discord. No one's no one has any questions. All right, let's continue on. Let's see what we get here, and let's take a breather, a step back. Let's look at our higher time frame here. So we were looking for around this level here. Buyers or sellers. This is exactly what we were looking at on Friday. It was Prickly that was looking at some of these areas in here. It was at down here at 67, and he was saying no, there's going to be buyers in it. And at that time, the order flow was not telling us there was going to be buyers in. It was telling us there was going to be more selling. Then it started to flip around, and this level that he was looking at played out really nicely. Right, but we saw it in real time. We saw all markets hit at the same time with this correlation, with these correlated markets and market pulse, and it was great. It was great to see that. We heard it all unfold, and it was like a flash buying spree here, and that gave us a lot of insight. And we were looking for very conservative moves at that point here. Just up to like 80, I think 77 or 80, and look what it did. It was the rally for the day, rest of the day. Okay, so anyway, that's how powerful this move was, based off of this market pulse information that we got with the correlated markets. All right, now let's take a look at this move in here. Right, it's kind of all quiet right now. So what do we have? Well, we don't have much. Right, in fact, like we might get some sellers here. Let's see, at 54, and maybe they'll drop it down and retest like 52 or 49 here. And we're just not getting much. Okay, so yeah, here comes some sellers. S&P only, and NASDAQ. Okay, YM a little bit. Not enough for me. We're still kind of in an uptrend here. So not really looking for follow through in that move yet. In fact, we can get back up above here and find our buyers around 54.5, and then we can get a move higher still. Okay, and where are we on our higher time frame? Well, no real insight here, right? Okay, they're buying the YM. Traders are buying the YM. And on our, let's go down to a 5-minute chart here actually, just to zoom in a little bit more. And let's look at 1 day here. Okay. So what we followed was this little move up here, right? So far. And we know this move here so far, like we were looking for it. We had our higher time frame level, but we're looking for more follow through than we got so far. So we might get a retest back down to 52 here. It's only a couple points. So anyway, guys, this is a really nice tool. I really like it here. We'll be using it in these webinars to give us deeper insight and within the order flow here. And we're also using that Trader Map Pro here to give us deeper insight as well, looking at 10 contracts or higher. Okay, here's the difference between the 10 contracts or higher. Here, let me put in a time frame. Hold on. 5 minutes. Okay, look at the buying, NASDAQ, ES. That's it though. Okay, and then let's look at this one here in a 5-minute. Okay, looking good. We got the Russell now on board as well. All right, we should get a breakout up into 60 here. Let's see it. Let's see if the dollar index too, we see traders buying that. So we're getting alignment here. Okay, so we're looking for the higher move. Okay, it's gotten up to 59 so far. Still looking for 60. They're still buying. So we're looking for a continuation. And then all quiet here. Okay, so guys, I mean, this correlation thing is just working out great for us here. We started to hear that, and we started to look for this higher move, and it's doing it. Guys, can you, even on Discord, can you just someone write something in there so I know that this is working? I'm looking at the right chat room. This is just something seems off here. I don't know if you guys can hear me. Okay, all right, thank you, CMJ. So technically, let's see, Richard. So you're saying is there? Not only is our move into 60, guys, we're up at 62, and we still see more buying here. Okay, so we're still looking for higher here. 65. We got the YM, we got the Russell, NASDAQ, and ES. All right, so let's go through this question here. Technically, if there is selling on the euro dollar, we should see selling on Bookmap. Have I interpreted it right? I wouldn't define it that way. I would say it more like this. If you see selling in the euro dollar, Okay, that means that they're buying the dollar. It typically means that there should be selling also in some of the stock indexes, not Bookmap, but in some of the stock indexes. Okay, it just means that if we're going to go with that correlation, now correlations do change, and this is where, Richard, I want to be very clear here about how markets, we think, how markets work. This is not a math puzzle. Okay, it's about participants in an auction. So just because like the euro dollar is selling off hard doesn't mean that the S&P is going to start selling off hard either. Okay, correlations can change as well, but you need to study the correlations and start to understand them and start to understand the markets in general. Yes, if in this environment here we see that the euro dollar is selling off, typically we see the stock indexes also selling off. All right, so now the way to play that would be to look at, or one way to play that would be to look at these correlated markets here, and then look at the order flow in the ES and get some alignment here. Right, so our alignment was high liquidity in the order book here at 55, and we said 60, and then we just said 65 or so, right, something like that. So if we get buyers, then we're looking for those buyers to continue on higher up into these areas here, and then now you can start to quantify your risk with the heat map and your stop and take profits. All right, now that's something to study though and look into, and that takes work. How do you determine where to set the threshold line? That's something to look at on your own, follow. I've played around with it. I'm just going with the default of 70. And that's it. So play around with the settings, and let me show you how you can do that as well. Okay, so in the ES, for example, we'll do that here because that's the market we're looking at right here, and I can open it up down here. I have stops and icebergs. I'm going to deselect that, and I'm going to add well, I'll right click on the ES and go to the settings here, and then it's right in here in the subchart that we want to look at here, right? It's selected, so it should be available here. Hold on. Oh, it's on the Trader Map Pro. Yeah, okay, I have it set on the Trader Map Pro actually. Okay, no problem. We'll go here. That's where I actually, oh, this is funny. I've got it, I actually have it set up kind of incorrectly here. I'm gonna sorry about that. Let's do this here. So I've got it actually set up on the Trader Map Pro. I'm going to set it up for the regular ES chart here, and so we can look at it in the ES down here. All right, here we go. Should be showing up here. Should be available. Why not? Oh, I'm on the Trader Map Pro. Okay, back here. Sorry, guys. There we go. All right, so now we got it. And let's get rid of stops and icebergs here. So here we go. And this is how you can go back and oh, you're welcome, Richard. No problem calling me Doug. I'm really glad you're watching Doug's webinars. I think they're just excellent. I keep saying some of the clearest one of the clearest setups and strategies I've ever seen, and it is a killer. All right, so anyway, here's how to play around with the Trader Map Pro, and I'll show you where you guys can try it out. And it's still for free for a couple of more days. It'll on Wednesday the 1st, it won't be free any longer. Right, so anyway, we'll go over that in just a second. Let me show you how to play around with it. In the sub chart down here, this is great. I have a visual, not just a sound output here for the ES in the ES subchart here. So I can start to understand, well, this is when I got signals here on the buy side. Okay, when it crossed the threshold here, it turned green here, and here. Right, makes sense. So this is where it was selling and it crossed the threshold down here. Okay, this is the line here is at 70%. So I have a visual output as well. This is where you can gauge it and play around with it. All right, what time frame are you trading? When do you want to hear these thresholds crossed? So, you know, for example, like maybe I want to hear it more often. All right, so let's go up here. We'll right click on it, go to settings, and then we'll bring the threshold down. Now look what happens here. Okay, look how the threshold is now at 38%, and I get many more signals here. Okay, many more green crossing or buying crossing the threshold or selling crossing the threshold. Now how much is that helpful for me? I don't know, not maybe somewhat helpful. You can see this is where it's not helpful though. I'm getting buyers and sellers, right? Here's a little helpful though. This is where buyers came in. Now this is where sellers came in. So there's a kind of a distinction there, or this is where there's just sellers in here. That's pretty good too. All right, so play around with it. Also play around with the half-life and look back or training periods here as well. All right, so let's see if we get some selling up here or down here. I'm sorry, 63 selling on the YM. That's about it though. Don't like it then. You know, I want to look for something where all these are aligned here. So this will keep you out of so many trades. This is the beauty of correlated markets. So what if the YM is selling off? That's great. I want to see the others selling off too. Now the S&P is starting to. NASDAQ's not. So you're getting conflicting signals in here, or you know, messages here. All right, well here we're looking for sellers here. NASDAQ's picking up a little bit. Okay, does the S&P? Not yet. So, you know, do you want to become trap volume and take a swipe at it here? No. Okay, look at selling euro dollar. Now we knew that one was leading before, right? Okay, now do we see selling in some of these other ones? Probably the YM will pick up first. All right, let's go to settings here in this S&P and let's bring it back up to 70. Okay, NASDAQ selling off. All right, let's see here. We got the ES came back up here. I'm looking for sellers right here at 40 or at 61.5. Looking for them. And not yet. All right, let's see if we get them here. All right, and looking for the drop. Let's see it drop down into this liquidity here and maybe 59. Let's zoom out here. Let's look at some of our levels. I like 59 and take some off at 59. Makes sense? Okay, maybe it can come down lower. You know, we might get a bigger move down into 53. Okay, so now we have the Nasdaq selling off, the S&P selling off, the YM starting to sell off too. This is great, right? And it started with that euro dollar here. We found the move with the euro dollar. Okay, here euro dollar again. Look at that. Interesting. All right, YM selling off. All right, we should get a continuation move here. I'm looking for it. Looking for these sellers here at 59 3/4 and for it to sweep the book lower into 59 and 58. Beautiful. Still looking for lower here. We're just looking for momentum to continue now down to this 57. Excellent. There we go. Right, so now that's might be a good area to maybe take some off and manage your trade here. Okay, so let me so trader Richard, you're confusing the two different products here. Trader Map Pro is something different than this Market Pulse. So let's just cover Market Pulse right now. Market Pulse is showing you what it's this little widgets under the add-ons here, Market Pulse here, right? Okay, so how do you get it? Let's go over that. So go to bookmap.com and then click on the more button here. And there's two different places you can get it. So right now you can go to the marketplace. I'm sorry, the knowledge base. Go to the knowledge base. Now you're in the user guide section of the knowledge base. You want to be in the add-ons section. So go there. And then in here, you'll see all the add-ons listed on the left. So you want to go to here, Market Pulse Volume Pressure. Go there. And here you'll find it. There's a video. There's an explanation of it. And then you can get it. Here's your download links here. Okay. All right. Now, that said, let me show you it on the marketplace here. Here's the link to the marketplace. Let's go there. This is where you'll purchase it, and that'll be Wednesday. Okay, so you get it free for a couple more days in here. Actually, that link didn't take us there, but we can find it in here. I'll make sure that link works. Okay, we'll just do Market Pulse here. Search. Okay, and here we go. Market Pulse. All right, so I think it's going to be offered for $17, but initially I think it's going to be more than that, like 34. But you guys will get a discount for a while, you know, get some feedback from you guys, see how you like it, etc. So this is where you can find it. All right, so let me put those links into the chat here for you guys. There's two links. Okay. And let's go back to YouTube. There's one, and that's in the knowledge base. And then the other one is here. Oh, hold on. All right. And here's the other. All right, there you go. All right, guys. Nice move. You can see now this is another thing I want to cover in here. Understanding some of these moves in here and how order flow and momentum works. Now this is more of a like a double bottom signal down here, and right into where these buyers came in previously, right? So you know, we're looking for more of a pullback, maybe up to like 58, 59 here. Double bottom, very easy pattern to see after some of these moves is heavy selling, some buying up here, no selling or very little, followed by more buying. We're looking for continuation, right? But what I wanted to cover was not that so much, but this one. When we saw this starting to unfold to the downside, and we had the confirmation with the euro dollar leading the sell-off, and then the other markets coming in, and then we're looking for the continuation. Now, and it continued again in here, also with the correlated markets. But you can see how important it is that the momentum in here, that if there's a lot of sellers that have moved the price, we're still looking for that trend to continue. And it went down another, you know, from this area here at 58, it went down another, like, you know, 4 or 5 points down into like 54-ish area here. So, you know, you can ride that momentum too. This is something to look into in your strategies and testing your strategies. All right, because and it's really what I'm getting at here is you're really starting to understand how momentum works. So this is a pullback here, but we know, we saw it come in. We saw the market correlations as well come in. This is a strong move. This is just a pullback here, like a breather. And we're still looking for continuation in that move, because this is where the strong move took place. And not only did the strong move take place here in the ES, okay, this took place also in the correlated markets. Therefore, you can lean on this more, and this is something to look into and study for your pullback strategies. If you don't see correlated markets buying in this area in here, you can short and look for the continuation of the momentum. All right, so you know, you can use this for not only capturing the moves to the downside in the immediate term, but you can look for pullbacks as well, because you've confirmed this is where the traders are, and you know that. Now this is even more interesting, and this is where we'll end the webinar here. But I want to, and if you guys like this, please hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. We really need your feedback. We need your support in here. You know, we got, boy, I went away on vacation, and you know, we had you know, over 100 in here. Now it's only up to 73. So I gotta get momentum back in here. So yeah, please hit that like button. That doesn't cost you guys anything, and it helps us. So and subscribe to the channel. Come to our Discord channel. It's free. All you need is an email. We're not going to spam you or anything like that. All right, so a lot of good resources in here. Now what I want to cover is there's 3 different setups that we saw in here on this move to the downside, and the downside move happened in here, and we know that there are larger players in here, and we heard it in the correlations as well, and we played it, like basically we played it to the downside. All right, and we're looking for the continuation in the momentum. So that's one trade, okay, or one way of maybe getting involved is to sell with the selling strength here. The other one is the pullback trade. Now why is this interesting here is because we know this is where these correlated markets came in, and there was a lot of selling pressure. If you don't see those correlated markets come back in on the buying up in here, this is something to look into for your pullback strategy to offer a much higher probability trade here. Okay, so look at those correlated markets in these areas on these pullbacks. You can even add into and scale into. Maybe you took some off down here, you scale back in here. this is where this tool can make you a lot of money, or it can do really well for your trading probabilities. Okay, now that's so there's actually multiple trades here, basically, or multiple setups. This is one, the momentum to the downside. Here's your pullback trade. That's the other one. Okay, and then here is the double bottom here that we saw, and then we're looking for the buyers up in here, and we're looking for a return back to where that strength came in. All right, that's the third. Here's your fourth, and it's all here in the chart, right? Here's your fourth is here at this little area here. Okay, because what you have here is this is where the strength came in, and this is where they're getting stopped out. Okay, any of the sellers in here, this is likely going to be a stop run. We can verify it in Bookmap here. Okay, and it is a stop run. It's not the biggest, but it is a stop run in some of these contracts in here. So this would be your third, okay, setup. And that is like the strength away from this area and then looking for a pullback and continuation. Now, what's happening here is this is becoming an important area right in here. Let's just mark it up. Right in here, right? So maybe I'm looking for strength or in selling or buying above or below this kind of 59.75 area right here. This is kind of an important area for this time frame right now. All right, and this maybe it hacks around in here and this turns into a high volume node, for several minutes or hours. We don't know, or maybe these are like trapped sellers down here and we get buyers up here and we see the correlations align again. Great, we're looking for the move higher, not only to the top of the range here at 62, but up to 64 and maybe even higher. All right, so different things to look at in here. If I went through that too quickly, this is recorded. You guys can come back and watch the recording to understand these various potential setups for yourself. Okay. Thanks, guys. Really appreciate the nice comments in here. Again, what I want to get at in this education is we're setting the foundation for you to understand order flow and put these pieces together. Tom B is next with volume profile, so that you can take this further if you like some of these ideas. If volume profile resonates with you, if it doesn't, maybe options with Doug will after that. Or maybe you like looking at some of the patterns we've been looking at in here in this advanced webinar. Whatever it is, like we're talking about order flow and the different setups here within the order flow. All right. All right, guys. Yeah, you guys aren't getting any sound over in Discord. Sorry about that. It should be. I know you guys can hear it in YouTube. All right. Anyway, thank you, everybody. We'll do it again tomorrow. Thanks for coming, and stay tuned for the host of other traders coming up the rest of the afternoon. Okay. Yeah. Thanks again, guys. Hit that like button, subscribe, and we'll see you tomorrow.